Do you find any differences? Because you have players who playing here in the NBA, playing on in college, and you have player playing overseas, and you have player coming from overseas here. What's your perspective on international players? Do you see any differences between working with somebody who was born and raised here, or someone was taking this journey to come all over here chasing a dream?
Yeah,
What do you think about working with international players?
yeah, I think a lot of the international players, and this is a gross generalization, but a lot of them have more of a chip on their shoulder and they're inherently tougher, I think, because they have to be. So one of my guys right now, he is from Sweden. He came over a couple of years ago. He's at one of the top high schools in the Philadelphia area, and like you could just tell he's so locked in and focused. We do 6 a.m. workouts up at his school a couple of days a week, and his attention to detail and focus. Not that the American players don't have it, but just he, I feel like, is on another level. Like he's craving details and he's craving coaching because I think it's so normalized in America that you can really get in the gym whenever you want. You have unlimited access to content and social media. Whereas, like, this kid from Sweden who has NBA aspirations meets an American coach and he's like, trying to be a sponge. That's the one thing I've noticed. And I've also been fortunate enough to do camps in places like Iceland and Italy and Aruba, Vietnam. And, the main thing that I've learned from those overseas camps is, like I said, just the desire for knowledge. Because imagine if like you had the smartest, like Albert Einstein, for example, was like you had 1 hour with him. And I'm not comparing myself to him, but that's almost what it feels like when I'm overseas. Like these kids view you that you have this knowledge that they don't have access to, and they're just craving that knowledge, so they're gonna make the most out of it. That's the main difference I've seen, and I don't think that's a derogatory, like in a negative way towards Americans. I just think Americans are so used to it that they don't necessarily take every single opportunity to squeeze that knowledge, if that makes sense.
No, of course. I was one of those kids. Like I will even travel to a nearby country if I hear a coach or someone. I can go at least like watch or ask a question. Like you said, here a little bit easier to get the knowledge, get the information. You can find someone related to you or family know that who play high level college or even NBA overseas. Just to see an NBA player, it's a big deal by itself. So imagine working with people who work with NBA players.